Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and I am Subhash Chandran. In this video, we are going to discuss about how piping construction engineer can migrate from construction to piping design engineering. Because I know there are a lot of people who are interested to move to design engineering, but they are not aware about the process of moving from construction to design due to a lot of various issues actually. So let me take this opportunity to share the informations that I know which I consider as workable. So these options will really be workable, and if you are really interested to move from construction to design, you can definitely try actually. It will give you a wonderful result, because whatever that I am going to tell you is from my experience and from the experience that I have seen with my colleagues and my friends actually. So with that thing, let me tell you that it will be workable. So without wasting your time, let's get started. If you wanted to move from construction to design, the first thing you have to understand what these two different departments are basically. See, construction is totally different than design, and design is totally different than construction, but there will be some sort of an interface about the exchange of information. But as far as philosophically, the construction and design is totally a different field actually. So as a construction engineer, if you wanted to move from construction to design, you have to change your mindset. Why you have to change your mindset? Let me tell you. See, construction is more about implementation. Whatever drawings that you get, you will simply able to implement actually, because you will not be able to understand the core intention of the drawing, but you can directly go for implementation because your materials are available. You know how to implement it. You will just see the procedures to implement, but you don't understand the background of it actually. So this is how the construction works. Moreover, construction team don't rely much on the international standards or any other standards. They are more into the construction procedures. They are not into other engineering documents because there is no need for it actually. So basically there is no awareness about the background of the standards and the specifications for the construction engineers. Third important thing is, see, construction is more of practical, but design, it's more of meeting the requirements, the timely requirements of the client and engineering specifications and your leads. So, and how you're going to meet the design to in order to execute within a given time. All these factors plays in design. But construction is all about, if you receive a drawing, you will be able to implement. It's more of practical, I'm saying actually. So the construction engineer mind will be into the practical implementation, but design engineer mind will be more into how you will be able to meet the requirement of a client within the given guidelines of international standards, specifications, or any other internal procedures, and also the timeline. So if your timeline is shorter, accordingly your scope and your material procurement, your specification writings, everything will change. So this is more about ensuring the documents, because design documents are vitally important for any kind of an approval. So generally all these regulations like international regulations and state regulations, they are relying on the design documents, because design documents is the one that ensures that you have safely designed the system so that others can work. So this is the kind of mindset that you have to have actually. So being a construction engineer and wanted to move to design, you have to strongly keep in your mind that design is all about ensuring the specification, safety, reliability of the plant, and meeting the requirement of the client, meeting the requirement of operation, considering all different factors in the documentation actually. So give more importance for the documentation. This is the kind of mindset that you have to have. So slowly what happens is that you will be start looking into the documents actually. If you receive any documents from design, you will go through it. If you receive a piping layout, you will go through it. If you receive a plot plan, you will go through it. Isometry, you will go through it. And you have to go through each and every details of isometrics. In isometrics, you may have find the RT requirements, PT requirements, hydrotest requirements that varies from line to line, specification to specification. All these things you will be able to understand only then when you change your mind from construction to design. This is the first part. Second part is about your preparation to get actually into the real job actually. So from construction to design, first thing I would advise is that you have to do two important things. One is take some piping design engineering general course. Why this is important? Because only then you will be able to understand the cycle of design. See, design has some cycle. It starts from zero and it ends at some level actually. Let's say it starts at conceptual, then go to feed, then go to detail engineering. What stage you have to deliver your piping deliverables, and what stage you have to receive the inputs, and how you will be supporting for the civil, how you will be supporting for the process and instrumentation. All these cycles you have to understand. For that, if you take some general piping design engineering course where the course content should explain you the theory of process plants basically. So you can Google is one of the best tool for you to identify the best piping design course. This is not a specifics course. This is a general course I'm talking about, because general course will give you an idea about a basic idea about almost all part of a piping design. So if you have this course, and you have to have a certification for it, so this will tell you that you know the basics of piping design. So this will add the value for your experience also, because you have some construction experience and you have completed a piping design general theory course basically. This is basically to understand the various part of a piping design. So ensure and always try to do some checking about the course content before taking the enrollment. It is not only about one particular skill. I am talking about the general piping design engineering course which covers all the areas. Second important thing you have to do is that piping design softwares. Learn predominantly used piping design software. I would recommend E3D and SP3D. Okay, and this is 3D part, and as well as the 2D part you have to do AutoCAD and MicroStation. These are the most commonly used 2D part basically. So if you complete the software part and as well as the design theory part, and both of these parts will have a certification, so that will add value for your construction. Okay, now comes to the third stage. Third stage is a skill development. Skill development is not the general study. You are focusing on one particular area to acquire more knowledge about that particular area. So in skill development, I would say you have 5 stages actually. The first stages is that you understand the importance of international standards and specifications. There are courses available in Udemy. There are a lot of materials available in YouTube actually about international standards which are commonly used in piping design. Go and read the overview of it. You will understand what is this international standard is all about actually, because the international standards and the local standards and the engineering specifications are the one that drives the piping design. And second important thing is that you should know about the every inch of details about the fittings. So being from construction, it's easy for you to understand, but theoretical also you understand how this fitting differentiates actually. See, I would see construction engineers has the privilege. That's because that you have a rich experience of seeing the practical implementation. So you will not be having a lot of issues in understanding the fittings basically. You know how the flange actually works, and what is the difference between slip-on and socket weld flanges and weld neck flanges, difference of gaskets actually, how to put it, bolts, and all this information you know, but you have to know in theoretical also. So go and study the all type of fittings which are available in piping design. So this is second part of the third stage. The third part of the third stage is you have to know how to read the P&ID. So this is very important. Being a piping design engineer, P&ID reading and understanding the requirement from P&ID is very important skill. And the fourth one is you should know how pipe routing. See, being a construction engineer, pipe routing may not be that complicated for you, but the only thing you may miss is that what is the parameters to be considered for routing. See, you must know about the construction complications and maintenance requirements, even the welding requirements actually. So you know how the supports are works and how to put a support, what is the gap available, what should be the height should be kept. All these things you might know because you already have an experience, but you should not know. I mean, you may not be aware about the certain other parameters that you have to consider in pipe routing. So for that you have to take some strong course, or you have to improve your knowledge in pipe routing skill actually. And the fourth one is pipe support. So as I told that being in construction engineer, you have a privilege because you might have seen a lot of supports actually. So it may not be able to, may not be a tough job for you to understand, but how to put the support, where to put the support, how to choose the type of support based on the requirement. All these things you have to know. So these are the 5 areas that you have to consider as your third stage actually. So of these 5 areas, the first 2 areas, and you will be able to get a lot of information in YouTube actually. And the last 3 areas which I am talking about, has already have a course in my website. You can go and check my website actually. If you can find any other course which is better than this, so you can always can take it. But these are skill developments. See, skill developments are not for certifications. Skill development is for to enhance your knowledge, to be able to present during the interview. So that is what the skill is about, right? If you have a certification and if you don't have a knowledge, so there is no meaning in that actually. That's one of the reason in the previous stage I said you take a piping design course for certification to cover the general basic, so that you will have a general basic idea about the entire process actually. But the third stage is the skill development. Skill development, you have to really sit and read one particular skill for many number of times for many different areas and many different requirements. This is the third stage. Now comes the fourth stage. Fourth stage is that you have to prepare for an interview. Interview preparation is it's not that easiest task actually. It's a little bit complicated. So first you have to prepare your CV in such a way. So one point I would advise is that in your CV you have to highlight that you have done some design supports. So you can put a 1 or 2 line of responsibility, like you can say that during construction you have been interacted with the design team. Maybe you might have some experience and you can just make it a little more clear, so that will support your design job requirements also. So that kind of notes, if you can provide it, let's say I have used to read the P&ID, I used to read the piping layout, and through which I'm supporting the construction team, I'm supporting my the core construction supervisors. So those details, and you can just share, and you can also tell if there are complications. I went on to the design team and we have checked, we discussed, and we have given that option, this option. So all the things you put. So the ultimate intention is that your CV should have some lines to highlight you have already interacted in design. This is one part. And the next thing is that you have to prepare for the interview, how you will be presenting in the interview. So this is very important, because like you have prepared all these things and everything. So but if you are not in a position to deliver an interview, so it may not help, right? So how you have to prepare? See, you have to consider your piping construction experience, and you have to clearly tell that my piping construction experience has added a lot of value to the piping design job. That's one of the reasons why you're moved from construction to design actually, because you understand the construction complications, material requirements, how to route the line, how to put the support actually, where all there will be a clashes, where all there will not be a clashes, and how to rectify it actually. All these things you have aware actually. So you truly understand that it's about how you can use this knowledge in a design to deliver a better design for the piping design. So that's how you have to convey actually. So this preparation, as I said, it's not that easiest actually. Maybe if you attend couple of interviews and more interviews, you will be able to prepare actually. But your mindset has to be then. If you come from the stages that I have told actually, you will be able to naturally develop this skill. That's why I am just insisting you to go in stages actually, so that you will be able to drive your mind accordingly. See, the very intention of the interviewer is that you should know the work. So if you understand the overall process, you'll be able to speak properly. So you can deliver that message clearly to the interviewer. Interviewer is only try to understand whether you can work or not. So you have to have the skills in order to strongly say that you can deliver actually, and you have to also put it in front of them actually. See, there will be some gaps actually. So it's not that you are an experienced piping designer. Definitely there will be some gaps, but since you have worked in this field, you know how to correct that and how you can expedite that. So that's a kind of a strong message that you have to give it to the interviewer. So that will give you some upper hand for your interview. So this is the another area in the fourth stage actually, and then the next stage is really getting into the job. So to be frank, see, if you are migrating from one area to another area, it's not only about construction to design or anything actually, or not only about piping. If you're migrating from one area to another area, there will be some sort of a hardship will be there. Okay, so you have to go through some tough time actually. So maybe there are few who gets jobs within a couple of opportunities. There are people who gets jobs within 10-15 opportunities. So it's all about the number of iteration. But one clue that I can give you is that more faster you try. If you start trying from the time when you complete the piping design course itself actually, you will get an idea about how the preparation works actually. So try much early. Doesn't matter whether you have a requirement or not actually, but trying should be the one part and preparing should be another part. Your preparation and your trying should not have any interlink actually. So make sure these things are followed. You will be able to successfully get into the piping design jobs. I will meet you in another fantastic video. Until then, bye from Subhash Chandra.